I come from East Yorkshire in the north of England. My nearest city is Hull. Hull is a small city in England, but actually proportionally we have a lot of dancers come from Hull. Well, not really, sort of. My mother, her auntie had a local dancing school in Hull, and so I guess ballet was somewhere in the blood, because my mum learned at her auntie's school. My mum danced when she was a little girl. She was a very artistic person. She went to art school, was a painter, designer, so she's very artistic. I guess that got passed down to myself and my sister. My father isn't particularly artistic. He's more business-minded, a businessman. So we have this mixture of art and business. When I was, I think, 8 years old, I went with my parents to watch my sister doing a ballet show. My sister's 1 year younger than me, so she was approximately 7 years old. And I turned to my mum and I said, "Mum, why is Melzy dancing on the stage and I'm sat on a chair? I want to do it too, it looks fun." I was annoyed that I wasn't on stage too. I didn't know what ballet was, but it looked like fun. I think the next week I joined ballet classes with my sister, and that week there was an audition for a local production in Hull New Theatre. It was The Pickwick Papers by Dickens, and it wasn't ballet, it was actually an acted performance, but or a musical maybe. I got the role of a street urchin in this, and that's how my stage career began. I went to the Royal Ballet School as a child, 11 years old, joined Royal Ballet School, trained through the whole Royal Ballet School system in London. I graduated in middle of my class, and I joined the Royal Ballet Company when I was 19 years old, which was a huge honour for me. I was delighted. I mean, being a Brit, it was the best company in the UK, and for me it was a dream come true to be from the school into the company. But then I had a frustrating 4 years in the company where I was basically like a mimans, like holding the trays, carrying the spears, doing walk-on rolls, and I felt so frustrated. I worked hard, I tried my best. I tried to prove to my bosses that I was worthy of giving a chance to, an opportunity to, but that chance sadly never really came. But what did come was Yuri Fateev. He came over to Covent Garden and he taught I think 2 weeks of masterclasses for the Royal Ballet. And I was so inspired by him. On the last day of his stay in London, I just took a bit of courage and went and approached him and said, "Would you mind awfully if I showed you some jumps just to get some more help from you before you leave?" He was like, "Yes, of course, please show me some jumps." And he gave me like a half-an-hour coaching session, like one-on-one, and I thought nothing more of it. He went back to Russia, I went back to carrying my spears, and about half a year later, he became the director of the Mariinsky Ballet Company, and he wrote to me, "If you're still doing nothing in Royal, come to Mariinsky, I'll help you." Actually, I didn't even reply to the message. I thought he was either crazy or a prank or something. A year later, he wrote again and said, "Okay, Xander, we're coming to London on tour to the Opera House. Are you still around? Do you want to come and take class?" I was like, "Okay, that's harmless enough, okay." So I went and did class with Mariinsky in the Opera House. And after 2 weeks again doing class, he saw me in the corridor and said, "Oh, Xander, how are you enjoying your time with the company doing class?" I said, "Well, it's great, you know." He said, "What do you think of the company?" I said, "It's great." "Yeah, what can you say? Mariinsky is an amazing company. It's probably the best classical company in the world." I said, "It's wonderful." He said, "Good. Come to Russia." I said, I joined the Mariinsky in January of 2010, and it was a winter like now, snow this deep, freezing cold, -26. It was really cold and quite a shock to the system, but it was the beginning of a real sort of fairy tale, personal fairy tale for myself. The company itself, at first, was quite cold. I mean, to be honest, The dancers weren't used to having foreign dancers around. And they probably quite rightly thought, who's this guy from London? Why is he here? I didn't want to steal anyone's roles or do anything just to rock the boat, so to speak. But it took a while to settle in. I didn't find people very warm at first, but that's because I didn't know the Russian soul. I didn't understand the Russian mentality back then. But once I made some friends, I understood that once you earn your friendship with these people, they're your friends for life. Westerners think Russians are very cold and distant, but that's just the facade. Once you get a bit beneath this and get to them personally, you'll find loyal and trustworthy friends that you'll have forever. I mean, I could say, vodka, snow and bears, but I mean, that would be silly. Only on stage in Petrushka. I love snow. In England, we don't have deep winters like we have here in Russia. And, this last night, or yesterday, it was minus 27 degrees Celsius here. That doesn't happen in England, so, it's an experience. The canals are frozen. Last night, I went walking on the canal. In the summer, it's water, and now you're walking on it. It's fantastic. It's like being in a fairy tale. Dacha, my second word. Because again, this sort of, this Russian thing of having a dacha is like just amazing. I love dachas, doing the shashliks and all that stuff. It's so much fun, getting in the forest, and there's a real nature connection going on in Russia. We go on tour to Vladivostok, once a year, and that's 11 time zones that way, so I mean, you're still in Russia. Third word I could say, maybe cuisine. I love the Russian kuchnia, all the soups and the stews and the kotleti and all that stuff. There's so much cuisine. I learned Russian by going on tour. When I toured with the company to Germany or America or Canada, we were always put in rooms together. So my first tour I shared with Kostya Zverev. We were sharing a room together on Baden-Baden, and so he would teach me words. I'd write them down on a pad of paper by my bed, write the words down, try and learn and remember them. Well, I came here to learn ballet. It's hard to explain in words, it's such a special thing. I feel so privileged to be able to come here to this temple of dance, where great dancers started out their careers. Rudolf Nureyev, Nijinsky, Pavlov, they were here. They probably walked in this room, I mean, for sure. I don't pretend to be the best dancer in the world or whatever, but if I can just absorb something of what they had, I'm sure it can make me a better person, a better dancer. And when I first came here, it was my first time coming into the theatre. It was like, wow, you just feel it. Now I'm used to it. I go in every day and I don't notice it anymore, because I do, it's there. But when I first joined the company, it was so tangible and so noticeable. I've got to try and remember to not forget that moment, because it's like so special. I've been very blessed to have the chance to come here and to learn with such great teachers, thinking that some of the coaches I've had, they've had it passed down from the choreographers themselves. I mean, folky ballets that got passed down from one person to the next and then to me. It's like only 3 or 4 generations, but to have that intimacy with your coaches. I mean, to work with Gabriela Komlova, she herself danced with Baryshnikov. I mean, to work with all the coaches here, they're all extraordinary people and they've all got amazing depth of history. I came here with the intention of learning the classics. So Swan Lake and Nutcracker and beauty, of course. And I love these classics. I love them so much. There's some ballets here which I haven't seen anywhere else in the world. The Fountain of Bakhchisarai, a ballet which I hadn't even heard of till I looked on the internet and when I was researching Mariinsky and saw. I was like, what's that? I hadn't even heard of it. I was like, what's the Fountain of Bakhchisarai? What's Bakhchisarai? Where is that? You know, now I know it's in Kurim, but like, gorgeous the music. It's beautiful. Glazanov's Raimonda, the whole thing. Legend of Love, for instance, Grigorovich. So I have many favorites here. Personally, I love Petrushka and Stravinsky ballets. I think, actually, for me personally, drama is one of the most interesting things about dance, because dancing is not just physical; it's emotional, and there's so much in ballet that comes from within. It's not just about doing physical steps. Ballet, of course, you have to learn the technique. You have to jump. You have to do all the necessary requirements of dancing and ballet technique. It's very difficult to learn and to train, and of course, there's so many layers to it. But the thing that makes it alive is what's inside. It's the emotion and the drama that comes out in these ballets. My favorite ballets to dance are the ones which have emotion. Like here, to do Anna Karenina by Ratmansky. I mean, the emotions are so powerful, so strong. You know, this is what, for me, this is the most interesting thing. I'm rehearsing today later Romeo and Juliet with Victoria Toroshkina, and to dance Romeo and Juliet again, these emotions. It's what the dancing sits on. If you do the dancing without the emotions, I think it's only half the story. Yeah, I do. Scheherazade, probably. I love the Scheherazade costume. It's just like exotic thing of gold pants and these bejeweled top. It's something exquisite. It's amazing how costumes can change how you feel. You put it on, suddenly you're a different person. It's fascinating. So I've always loved taking pictures. From being a young boy, I think my grandma, bought me a little click camera when I was, goodness, maybe 5 or something. I remember running around our garden at home taking pictures of birds and stuff. A close friend of mine called Alex Talbot Rice, who's a portrait painter, very famous painter in the UK. He painted the Queen, Margaret Thatcher, very highly respected portrait artist. We became good friends because he was the first artist to train here at the Repin Academy from England. He was British. And he gave me his film camera. You know, when we're not dancing shows, we're often here anyway, doing covering or rehearsing. So I started clicking away, taking photographs, and now I've got the chance to do an exhibition starting in March, which is going to be really exciting. I'm not a professional photographer, I'm not pretending to be, but it's my hobby and my friends like my pictures, and I think it'd be nice to show the audience and the public something